Put on your microphone, Combs. No, it's not. A lot of background noise. There you go. Man, our nation, sometimes in this industry, you just kind of got to go with the flow. You got to see what is popping and see what is dropping and see what the people like to hear. And today, I released a short basically saying that Jimmy G was not going to be on the San Francisco 49ers and he was going to be in the Pittsburgh Steelers come week 1. Clearly, I was wrong. I was 100% wrong, and we will get into that later tonight. But sometimes you guys hit or miss. And quite frankly, sometimes I hit less than accurate. I'm like a weatherman. Like if I'm right 80% of the or wrong 80% of the time, I'm still right 20% of the time, and that's all that matters. So for all you people that are down my throat, Joe, I know who you are. I already saw the comments, Joe. It's all good, my man, because at the end of the day, you are watching my content, Joe. At the end of the day, you are loving Man Hour because sometimes the biggest haters are the biggest fans. Let's just be flat out honest about it. Joe, every video that I release, you comment on it, you dislike it. Hey, that helps us out, my man. Do you understand that? That helps us out. But hey, whatever. It is what it is at the end of the day. And haters make you famous, Combsy. So cue that intro, big guy.
Are you ready for the best damn sports radio show on the planet? Man Hour Nation, rise up.
You don't want to be every time, no. I would like to personally welcome you to Man Hour After Dark. Say that thing. While I bring you the host, Mike, Buck, and Cone. You know who's coming to the stage. Sports talk than what you about to hear right here. I second that.
Go. You know that it's us when we talking about sports. Giving you facts on the field to the core. Tune in, we need the support. 1 hour too short, then listen some more. On all your stations, not dropping no music. Starts like Adidas, but Nike just do it. Down 4 in the 4th, we go for the win. Michael 2 seconds, we taking it in. Buck, Mike, and Combs, you know what's going on. Man, now we're After Dark, no LA, we the big spark. No 4th and inches won't cut you short. Got the best talking, it's all sports. Buzzing more than buzzer beaters. We coming live all through your speakers, go.
And what is up, Man Hour Nation? Michael Buckheischer here with the Man Hour. I'm sure to head over to manhourradio.com. Check out the merchandise page or check out the blog section as well. It is new and improved that we do drop blogs each and every day over there. We got like about 15 writers over there, guys. So we are doing good things over there at Man Hour Radio. So tune in, subscribe to the channel, and definitely hit that like button tonight if you haven't done so already. We do got a poll going up there if there will be a quarterback controversy in San Francisco. Why do you ask? Because Jimmy G has signed a restructuring contract with the San Francisco 49ers, keeping him in San Francisco. So we'll be talking about that tonight. We'll be talking a little bit about Geno Smith being named the starter. Sony Michel was cut. Patrick Mahomes not a top 5 quarterback. Tom Brady, the best quarterback in the NFL. And of course, we're going to talk about Aaron Donald and the infamous double helmet to the face on tonight's Fact or Crap. But this is a fact that I do have the best co-host in all the land, and that is Brandon Beastie Combs. What's up, Beastie?
What is going on, Michael Buckheischer? What's up, Man Hour Nation? It's your boy, Beastie Brandon Combs. Look, man, I've got tennis on TV right now, watching Serena Williams go at it. I watch everything. Everybody is like, well, what sport don't you like? I can't really name one. Watched a WNBA game over the weekend. Watch some tennis right now. Watch some Little League World Series. But man, look, it's a good time in sports right now, right? Baseball's ramping up. Yep. Tennis is going. The U.S. Open's going right now. We've got some really good stuff. And golf this weekend happened. And NFL, college football. I mean, it's a good time to be a sports fan.
It is not a good time to be a Nebraska Cornhuskers fan because they are the only team in NCAA Division I football that has lost 7 games in a row by single digits. So, sorry, Drew. I know you're a
baby.
Yeah, you are a Northwestern guy passively, aren't you?
Yeah, well, I mean, look, they're a Chicago school, so I do pull for them, and I actually on Saturday, I was watching the kickoff show, the college kickoff show on ESPN, and every single panelist picked Nebraska. It was a clean sweep. Every single panelist. I said, man, is it going to be funny when they're wrong and I'm right? Northwestern beats them.
Right.
And what happened? Northwestern won that game, if I do recall.
Yeah. If you guys do not remember, Northwestern was pretty good in the COVID-related season. So, yeah, I mean, it is what it is. So guys, like I said, we do have a pretty action-packed show for you tonight. It is Factor Crap. But if you guys are interested in any of trash talk groups whatsoever, in the description below, I have listed all 8 divisional trash talk groups that you can be a part of, AFC East to NFC North. So if you guys like to talk to trash, rep your team, get down in their comments, click the link, and join our Facebook groups. And we got several people in the chat tonight. We got Combsy Jr. says, man hour. What is up, Combsy Jr.? Hope you're having a grand night. Has he graduated high school, or is he still in high school, Combs?
He has not graduated. He is a senior.
There you go.
A second-year senior. He likes to, if he likes something, he sticks with it. So
I feel you, man. Hey, there's nothing wrong with the 5th-year senior, my man. There's nothing wrong with it whatsoever. We have Combs in the chat says, rise up. Yes, sir, rise up, 100%. Joe's drunk dad says tennis is gay. I disagree. I actually like watching female tennis. Men's tennis is kind of blah, but female tennis is a lot better because I feel like it's more level across the board.
I'm still trying to figure out who Joe's drunk dad is. I don't know who it is.
Apparently, it's Joe's drunk dad. So Combs Jr. says, so you're a fan of cricket as well, like the cell phone cricket. I mean, I do like cheap cell phone.
So I couldn't sleep a couple weeks ago, and I turned on the TV. It was like, I don't know, 5:30 in the morning, and ESPN had cricket on, and I actually watched about a half hour of cricket.
Why are they airing cell phones? Like, are they trying to sell? Is like a telemarketer thing?
So cricket is like the Australian form of baseball.
Yep.
It's weird. I don't understand it. I couldn't figure out any of the rules. They throw the ball as hard as they can on a bounce, and then you have to hit it, and it like. You have to hit it within like a 10 feet span or something. Like I don't know.
Yeah, I've seen some highlights of it. Like some of the highlights are like cool, but I'm like, you're hitting the ball on the ground. Cool, whatever. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure if I if I knew the rules, I would enjoy it as well. Alpha Rob is in the chat. What's up, Alpha Rob? He says, "What's up, guys? I don't know why I'm not getting the notification when you guys come on. I don't know either. Maybe try unsubscribing and subscribing, then hitting the bell icon again. I'm not 100% sure, but sometimes YouTube likes to shadow ban us." So maybe you're getting a little shadow ban. Maybe we're getting a little shadow ban. I don't know. They don't like the man being manned. I don't know. Shit. But we are live, guys, Monday through Thursday, 8 p.m. East Coast time. Wednesday is Fantasy Football Edition. We had the myths, the legends, Wyatt and Tori on there to talk fantasy football. So there you go. That's what's up. Then we got Drew in the chat.
Fantasy draft coming up on Thursday night.
Yeah. What about the one Saturday night? Did you show up for that one? I'm just kind of asking for a friend.
I kind of forgot that we had our man hour fantasy draft. However, my team auto drafted pretty damn well. My quarterback sucks. I mean, I ended up with Aaron Rodgers, but other than that,
I think you had like 3rd overall pick, so JJ was like right there for the taking. I'm like, come on.
No,
fall to number 4.
I ended up. Who did I take with the? I think it took Cooper Kupp with the first pick.
Oh, did it?
Yeah. So I mean, look. I completely forgot. Completely spaced it. Nobody reminded me. I mean, to be fair, nobody did say, "Hey, just so you know, this draft is on this time." Or blah,
to be
blah,
fair, it
blah.
does send you an email like 3 days.
No, it didn't send me an update or nothing. No email. No, like usually my ESPN app will alert me that hey, you got a draft coming up. And I didn't get nothing for it. And when you said that our draft was going to be pretty bad, I'm like, what draft? What are you talking? I completely forgot we even had a league. But no, this Thursday I got a 20-team $300 buy-in, like huge draft. We're going to a local sports bar to
20 teams is a little excessive.
That's what I said. And then I looked at the roster size. I mean, the roster size is kind of small. But I still 20 teams is, I mean, after you get past like the 3rd round, you're into like, you better know your stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't know anything. about anything. So
So
I
tune
might
in
be-
Wednesday and ask Tori and Wyatt for some advice, and they'll definitely lead you in the right direction.
I might do that.
I'm just
I
saying.
might do that.
We have Drew in the chat. Says, howdy, boys. What's up, Drew? I'm glad you're here. Long time no see. Glad you are a part of us tonight, Drew. So, Combsy, this is Factor Craft Night. So every Monday, people jump over in the chat here at or on Twitter machine at manhour_buck, or if you guys have a Factor Craft, post it in the chat and we'll get to it. But it is pretty simple. We release a statement and we let you know if it's fact or indeed if it's crap. Pretty cut and dry and to the point here. So the first one, the title subject of the show, guys, Jimmy G has restructured his deal to basically become a backup in San Francisco. So many people, Combs, me and you included, had Jimmy G going to the Pittsburgh Steelers or the Seahawks or somewhere. He was not staying in San Francisco 49ers. We thought that was a no way going to happen whatsoever. So Combs, factor crap on this point. The San Francisco 49ers made a mistake by keeping Jimmy G in San Francisco, and there will be a quarterback controversy this season.
So part of that is fact and part of that is crap. The part that's a fact is that they made a mistake keeping Jimmy G. I mean, it makes no sense to put that pressure on Trey Lance. Where it does make sense from a business standpoint, should something happen to Trey Lance, whether it be he falters and he's not the guy that I think he is, or have it be that he gets injured, you've got Jimmy G as your backup. And where it's crap is that they're going to be a quarterback controversy because Trey Lance is their starter. They love Trey Lance. They love what he brings to the table. They love what he's doing. And he's going to be their starter. So barring injury or barring a huge setback of his growth, then Jimmy G just signed a $6.5 million backup extension is what he got. And I'm kind of shocked by it. I really am. I'm surprised. I watched the Steelers this weekend. I know, look, Kenny Pickett had another great outing. I know they believe he's the future. But they're a contender with Jimmy G right now. You look at other teams out there like the Seattle Seahawks, it could be a contender with Jimmy G right now. Houston Texans, no, never mind. But anyway, I mean, look, those other two teams that I mentioned could be a contender with Jimmy G right now, and they just stood pat with who they have. And I mean, God, I don't see what the point of it was, but there was no market for Jimmy G, and the Niners decided to keep him. But it's I mean, there's no way he's a starter, right?
Yeah, I mean, they have pretty much come out and said that Trey Lance is their starter even before the end of last season. So, I mean, obviously Trey Lance is a starting moving forward. But, Combs, just to add to your point there, the reason why there was no market for Jimmy G is because everybody knew that the 49ers had to basically move him in the end. So why would you want to offer a first round or a third round or hell, even a fifth round pick for somebody that you know that the San Francisco 49ers have to move in the end? So I'm going to say this is 100% fact. There is going to be a quarterback controversy in San Francisco 100%, and they made a huge mistake by this just because of, let's say Trey Lance starts off the season 0-3. Are fans not screaming, put Trey Lance in, or sorry, put Jimmy G in, put Jimmy G in, put Jimmy G in? You are 100% lying to yourself if they're not screaming, put Jimmy G in. Just because we've seen Jimmy G, when he plays a full season, he leads you to the NFC Championship game. They are literally probably one quarter away from talking about a dynasty with Jimmy G. So I don't understand why they would even dream about keeping a quarterback like Jimmy G on the roster when Trey Lance is their guy. There were rumblings out there that Mason Rudolph and the 49ers had mutual interest in each other. Mason Rudolph for Jimmy G as a trade. And then I jumped on that bag. I'm like, this is perfect. This is great. This is exactly what the Pittsburgh Steelers need. This is exactly what the San Francisco 49ers need. Mason Rudolph is a good backup quarterback, and get him from the AFC North so his head can grow back in a natural shape again. So, I mean, this is 100% fact that this is a mistake by the San Francisco 49ers, because this is Tim Tebow back in 2007 with the Denver Broncos 101 all over again. This is a huge mistake.
I think this is even worse than the Tim Tebow thing, right? Because Tim Tebow showed signs of not always being able to get it done, right? Like I think I'm with you. Tebow got mishandled for sure. Yeah. I think that Tebow did not get the opportunity that he deserved, and I think a lot of that had to deal with his off the field, religious beliefs. And I think that it rubbed some people the wrong way. And for whatever reason, they misused him. Jimmy G has done nothing but win. Anytime he's at a healthy team, he wins. And he is so damn good. Like, can you remember a time where a quarterback that has gone to a Super Bowl and an NFC title game in 3 years has gotten the blatant disrespect that Jimmy G has had to endure in San Francisco?
I actually coming up next on Factor Crap. So yes, I have seen it.
I don't know. I haven't seen it. I can't think of a time. Maybe in this next one coming up on Factor Crap, you'll remind me of who it is. But Jimmy G is a winner, and he's a proven winner. And the organization that he's been a proven winner with is the one that is dogging him. Like, it almost reminds me of what we keep saying with our guy over there in I don't even know where the hell he's at now.
Teddy Bridgewater?
From Teddy Bridgewater.
Miami.
Like, why is a guy who's so talented not wanted? So is there something more? Is there something that we don't know about? Is there something we're not seeing? But like you said, I mean, all he does is produce when healthy, and I don't get it. I don't get it.
Yeah. So this is the one thing that kind of comes to mind with like me, just because, like, have you ever been to a place, Combs, like a work environment where they just don't want you? Do you really want to work in that place?
No.
They literally made Jimmy G practice by himself. I know. They legit said, Jimmy, we don't want you at all. Go over on the sideline and work by yourself. And then, like, the next week, they're like, hey, you know what? Maybe we can restructure your contract and make you a backup. And like, what mind does Jimmy G say, well, you know what? Maybe you guys are right. Is it because Jimmy G doesn't want to go anywhere? Is he a California boy? Or do you think they legit maybe have a Super Bowl chance and he wants a ring?
I think he's perfect for California. I do think he's a California boy. Do I think he wants to go anywhere? No, I don't, because he's built a winning atmosphere with this team.
Right.
And he and his teammates have a close relationship. And for whatever reason, the organization has decided to go in a different step. It's the same thing with like Tua, right? Like, I am surprised when I hear, and I think it speaks loudly, when teammates don't come to your defense. Because if there's something wrong, and we've heard it in this game over and over and over again, when there's something wrong, teammates come to the defense. Somebody will say something, and nobody's saying anything.
Right.
And to me, that suggests, all right, well, maybe there's character issues, maybe there's leadership issues, maybe there's something we're not seeing, because it just does not make sense that a guy who has won this many games for your organization over the last 4 seasons, and what he's been able to do with this team when healthy again is beyond replacement. And you're going to replace that with a guy who you have no clue. You don't know what Trey Lance is going to be. Trey Lance might be everything you think he's going to be. Trey Lance might be that all-pro quarterback. Trey Lance might be the guy who leads you to the promised land, right? He might be that Super Bowl winning quarterback, but you don't know. So, and there's an old saying, and my boss at work loves to say the saying, the devil you know is better than the devil you don't.
I love
right?
that. Yeah.
So sometimes you've got to be, you've got to just ride out with what you have because you know what works. That next guy might not work.
Right.
And to let that go for something that might not work, that's a slippery slope. And you're going to learn really quick what Trey Lance is made of, because now you've got Jimmy G breathing down your neck. Yeah. And look, I'm telling you right now, Jimmy G is not being silent. I guarantee it. He is not being silent about his will to be the starting quarterback. So as soon as Trey Lance starts slipping up, he's going to be louder and louder in practice.
Yeah, it'd be like a 0-3 start where like even the fans are going to be louder and louder and louder.
0-3. Imagine if they lose to the Bears week 1.
I wouldn't say week 1 because I think they're kind of expecting
a team that's supposed to only win 4 to 5 games this season, right?
True.
That's what everybody's saying. That's what all the experts are saying.
Right.
They're only supposed to win 4 to 5 games. I think they're going to be better than that, but everybody says I'm just a Bears fan. I think they're going to be better, but if you lose to that team week 1 with a team that Jimmy G had almost in the Super Bowl last year,
right?
The fans are going to start clamoring.
So let me get to this comment here from Alpha Rob. He says, I don't get the Trey Lance thing. Why people want him to start? What is it based on? So Alpha Rob, you are exactly right. We legit have not seen Trey Lance play one NFL game. Matter of fact, we have not seen him play a college game in 3 years. His last full game, Combs, was 2019. Yes, they did play a expedition game in 2020. It was North Dakota State versus South Dakota State or something crazy. But we have not seen him play a full season since 2019. Yes, he does have good arm strength. He has a look of a quarterback. And when he was in there last year, he had some growing pains and maybe shook off a little bit of rust. But to say people, I don't get the Trey Lance thing. I'm with you, Alpha Rob, 100%. Our man Jameson, which is a contributor to the Man Hour, he hates Jimmy G, and I don't get it. What do you think,
look,
Holmes?
the Trey Lance thing comes from they see something in him the same way like I look at Justin Fields, right? I look at Justin Fields like Justin Fields is the real deal. Like I think that if he is used properly, and we're gonna see how Eberflus uses them, or how how Getsy uses him, and if they put him in the right situation and succeed, I think he's our franchise quarterback. I think this is a guy that could lead us for the next 10 to 15 years. I also believe that about Jimmy G, but Trey Lance is special. According to everything that I've read, according to some of the things that I've seen, Trey Lance is that special quarterback. He's that Deshaun Watson type quarterback, and it's hard to pass up on that, no matter who your quarterback is. I mean, unless you have a Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers or Peyton Manning at the helm, it's hard to ignore that. And there's a reason that you drafted him, and there's a reason why you don't believe in Jimmy G. There's a reason why, for some unknown reason, him and Kyle Shanahan don't click. And Kyle Shanahan has been very vocal about wanting Jimmy G out.
Which is stupid.
So I agree. Like the whole thing. But I can't put this on Trey Lance, right? Like you can't put this, I said it about the White Sox the other day, right? Like you can't put this all on Trey Lance, because what's he supposed to do? Say, no, don't give me the job? Jimmy deserves to still be the starter? No, he's going to take the ball and run. Like, I mean, it's his career too, and whoever he's got to get past to make that his moment, to make it his team, he's willing to do it, and I don't blame him for that. I think Trey Lance is going to be a special quarterback. I just don't understand why they've done this to Jimmy G, and I don't understand why nobody else wants Jimmy G. That's the other thing.
Well,
like Jimmy G was there for the taking. Nobody wanted. You could have had Jimmy G probably for a 6th and 7th round draft pick and a viable backup.
Well, let's just be honest. Would the San Francisco 49ers have taken a 6th or 7th round pick? Just because I believe somebody did offer them a 7th round pick and they turned it down. So
how could you have a high asking price on a guy that you don't want in your organization?
Because they're still paying him $24 million. They know his value right?
They're only paying him 6.5. They restructured it.
Wait, well, they did restructure it, and they probably put it into signing bonus or something. I don't know.
Right, but you could have done a sign and trade. I mean, teams do it all the time. This move makes no sense. And look, I thought for sure the Niners were going to. The Niners are notorious for when they need to move a guy, they do it during the preseason. They do it late. They do it, when somebody gets hurt in the preseason. You know what I mean? The Steelers don't have this year's starting quarterback that can take them to that level. Jimmy G would have taken them to that level. Now, maybe they don't want anybody standing in Kenny Pickett's way. Maybe that's why Mitch Trubisky was their choice, right? Because they want somebody that can easily brush off and easily fade away. But I don't get it. I mean, Seattle, their quarterback is a guy that nobody even knew was back in the league until last year. I don't understand why nobody wants Jimmy G. And even if they wanted a 4th or a 5th round pick for him, isn't Jimmy G worth a 4th or a 5th round pick? Hasn't he proven that he's better than anything you're going to get in the 4th or 5th round?
True, but let me ask you this. Let's say you have that Chicago Bears camo helmet on your shoulder there, and I know you want to get rid of it. I know you need to make your house payment this month. Your asking price is $1,000, but I know you need to move it. So am I going to lowball you? Absolutely. I am going to throw a $200 bid out there, 100%, and you need that money, right? You need to move it. So are you going to take it? I mean, it just depends on how desperate you are. Are you going to wait for other offers, or are other offers going to come in lower? It is a kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't. So if they would have taken that 7th round pick, then we would have been hearing rumors of I would have offered him a 4th round pick, or I would have offered him Mitchell Trubisky, or I would have offered him Cam Chandler, whatever, right?
Maybe we're looking at this the wrong way. Maybe the restructuring of the contract is making him more easy to move.
Yeah, and that's
maybe they said, "Hey, let's restructure and give you a $6.5 million deal. That way, you're not guaranteed the $24 million, and then we can move you, and then you can work on a deal with a new team."
So you are saying that, because basically Drew said the same thing. Could they have restructured his contract to make him look better for trade value because other teams wouldn't want to pay him as much? Yeah, in theory, yes, but at the same time, now you have a $6 million backup quarterback that can lead you to the NFC Championship game. They restructured
Drew, his great thoughts. Great minds think alike, Drew.
Yeah, well. On the flip side of the coin, they restructured his contract to keep him in San Francisco because they know if push comes to shove, we still have Jimmy G for $6 million.
But is he even the backup right now? That's what, you know what I mean? Because they were prepared to go into the season with Trey Lance, and then their backup was why can't I think of his name?
I want to say Nick Mullins, but Nick Mullins was the Raiders quarterback, and he just got traded to Green Bay, I think.
Yeah, I'm looking right now, but either way, they were set to go into the season without Jimmy G. So is Jimmy G the 3rd string quarterback right now, or did you demote your backup quarterback for it was Nate Sudfeld? That's who it was. Okay. So
it's funny that you had to look up his name to even have that
remember
conversation.
Who they had, but that's the thing. It just doesn't. I don't know, man. And if Jimmy G is staying around and staying in San Francisco, if this was a deal to make him the backup, that's a step back, and that's got to be a gut punch for a guy who doesn't deserve to be treated like that.
Yeah, I mean, it is definitely a very big smack in the face for Jimmy G. I think, and Combs, you are on the same pace on that. But let's move on. And speaking of smacks in the face here, many people are saying that Patrick Mahomes is not a top 5 quarterback in the league. But Combs, did you know Patrick Mahomes has won 4 straight division championships since being named the starter in Kansas City? 4 straight AFC championship games, 4 straight Super Bowls. So with that being said, Combs, fact or crap, Patrick Mahomes is the most disrespected quarterback in the NFL.
Crap. His nickname is the future Hall of Famer. That's not disrespectful. here's the thing with Patrick Mahomes, right? You look at the numbers, you look at everything that he's done. His best year, statistically speaking, was his first year in the or his second year in the league. Sorry, where he threw for 50 touchdowns and only 12 interceptions. You look at like stuff like his touchdown percentage has gone down every single season since then. His yards have gone down and then back up and then back down. You know, it's one of those where you don't know what you have yet, right? Because now you're going to learn a lot about Patrick Mahomes this year. Do I think Patrick Mahomes is talented? Look, I'm not going to take anything away from Patrick Mahomes. What he has done in the first 4 years, I'm a believer. Like, I like Patrick Mahomes. I like watching what the kid can do. I don't like his brother and I don't like his wife, but that's their deal. You know what I mean? I like what this kid can do on the field. He is must-watch TV. Now, for me, he's must-watch TV because I want to see what he can do without the weapons, because he doesn't have the weapon. And you can say all you want about getting rid of Tyreek Hill was a plus and blah, blah, blah. And we'll get into this later because I think Tyreek Hill was a huge loss for Kansas City, but I think it was a stupid move for Miami to go and get him. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But I don't know what Patrick Mahomes is without the weapons. Now, look, he could absolutely go out there and tear it up. He can make Juju Smith-Schuster back into a Pro Bowl wide receiver. He could go back out there and make these guys look like, you know, and he could really earn that future Hall of Fame nickname, because that's when you're a future Hall of Famer, right? When you lose weapons and you turn other people's scraps into weapons. Like, that's what Tom Brady made a career out of, right? Making no-name wide receivers into weapons, right? No, there's nobody in this universe that would have made some of these wide receivers into weapons like Tom Brady did. And that's what I want to see from Patrick Mahomes. That's what I want to go out there and see. I have the prediction of them being a 7-8 win team this year. I don't think he can do it without the weapons. I think that this system was built around having those weapons in place. And I think it's going to be an uphill battle for them, especially with as good as this division got. The division itself, bit my tongue there a little bit. This division itself built itself around Patrick Mahomes, right? The Raiders built their defense and the Chargers built their defense to stop Patrick Mahomes. That's what they're designed to do. So we're going to see what Patrick Mahomes is made of, and we're going to see it this year. Anybody disrespect him, anybody saying he's not a top 5 quarterback in the game right now, that's just a dumb comment. I mean, it's statistically, he's a top 5 quarterback in this league right now until he's not.
Right.
I need to see it, though. To me, it's a show me. Show me what you can do now that you don't have Tyreek Hill there. Show me what you can do now that you have an aging tight end who I've said, and I've been on record saying, I don't think he'll be a top 5 tight end again in the game for the rest of his career.
Yeah, because he will be double teamed since Tyreek Hill is gone in Kansas City.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of issues there. And so like I said, this is a show me year for Patty Mahomes.
So with all that being said, Combs, you said his second year in the league, first year as a starter, he threw for 5,000 yards, and then the next year he dropped down. Well, no shit. Do you expect somebody to throw for 5,000 yards every year He didn't
just drop down, but he dropped down by over 1,000 yards.
He also missed 4 games that year.
He also dropped down from 50 touchdowns to 26 touchdowns. Yeah. He also went his his average yards per attempt went down by a full yard. Like, this is something that I look closely. I don't look just close. I look closely. They were such a well-built team, right?
Right.
12-4, 11-3, 14-1, and then last year 12-5. This team is well-built. Was well-built.
Right.
But now you're going to start to lose weapons because you paid Patrick Mahomes what you paid Patrick Mahomes. You're not going to be able to continuously afford the high ticket items anymore. You're not going to be able to afford the Tyreek Hills. You're not going to be able to afford to pay the Travis Kelce's. You're not going to be able to afford the protection on the offensive line. You're going to have to do it with good, but not great talent around you. And that's, to me, what makes you a Hall of Fame quarterback.
Like I hear everything that you're saying, and I agree with everything to an extent. So to the extent is the first year Patrick Mahomes took the league by storm. That is 100% fact. The whole Andy Reid offense, to Patrick Mahomes, to Travis Kelce, to Tyreek Hill, that system was blowing up, and nobody knew what hit them. The second year, they took away Travis Kelce, and then Tyreek Hill really kind of exploded onto the scene. And then we look through last season when they started to play a too high safety look, and then Patrick Mahomes took him about 5-6 games to really understand, like, hey, we can actually nickel and dime people down the field and be effective still be that high power offense. So Patrick Mahomes is consistently learning as a player. He is improving every year, because the second year Patrick Mahomes that threw that 50 touchdowns to what I think you said 12 interceptions. I think you said I got on the stats.
Yeah. 50 to 12.
He would have not won 12 games last season. He is consistently improving each and every year. On the other side of the coin, so are the defenses. The defense study is just as hard as the quarterbacks do. So there is no question that he is going to start to take steps back, right? Let's look at Lamar Jackson. The year that he won the MVP, he took the league by storm. He rushed for like 1,500 yards, threw for 1,500 yards. I think he was the first person since Michael Vick to ever do that, if I'm not mistaken. The stats are just off the top of my head, and I don't have that. Then we flash back to the next year. People made Lamar Jackson throw the ball because they know he can't complete the downfield field pass. The league is always evolving, and the great ones, like Patrick Mahomes, will improve each and every year and adjust to what the defenses throw at him. That is why, hands down, he is a top 5 quarterback. There's no question in my mind that he is not even a top 2 quarterback right now.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you there. He's a top 5 quarterback in this league. Top 2, I can't put him there because, I mean, Tom Brady's still alive and playing, and you still got Aaron Rodgers. As much as I don't like Aaron Rodgers, and as much as I think they're going to have a down year this year, he's still Aaron Rodgers, and his career work still puts him above Patrick Mahomes. But beyond Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers, I can't give you a quarterback right now. Maybe Josh Allen, and this isn't, trying to beef up Alpha Rob, but maybe I want Josh Allen a little bit more than I want Patrick Mahomes, but they're probably a 1A and 1B for me right now after the top 2.
So let me ask you this question. Who do you think has more upside on their current team, Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes?
Josh Allen. Because I think that no matter, you can take Stephon Diggs out of it. You can put, other plug and play wide receivers in there. I think Josh Allen has the arm strength, the arm talent. I think that he has the size and the girth. Like Patrick Mahomes' size gives me pause for concern. When he goes mobile, I think he's more prone to be hurt than Josh Allen, who's built like a fullback.
Right.
So I think he can take a little bit more punishment. And for me, Patrick Mahomes has shown me things that nobody, the no-look Patrick Mahomes pass to me is still the most amazing thing to watch live when he's just in full motion and just makes a perfect crisp spiral pass to a wide receiver without even staring at him. It's mind-boggling, some of the things that he can do. Again, after this year, I might have a completely different opinion. You know what I mean? I want to see what Patrick Mahomes can do without the talent surrounding him.
Right.
And that's what we're going to see. I mean, I would argue that Josh Allen has done it with less so far.
Yeah, so I can tell you as a former player on the field, I fear quarterbacks like Patrick Mahomes a hell of a lot more just because they're wiry, right? Like, you don't know if he's going to run. You don't know if he's going to pass. Like Josh Allen, it is almost like every time he rolls the pocket, I feel like he is going to run more and kind of lower his shoulder. So basically, you can kind of cut him down at the like at the knees and call it a day. Patrick Mahomes, you actually have to break down. You have to read the hips, and you basically have to force him out of bounds, which that's kind of where he wants to go, anyways. But he also does have that ability to stop and cut back and scamper down for another 20, 30 yards, like we've seen in the Super Bowl when they won the Super Bowl in 2019, right? So Patrick Mahomes, I feel, has more of an upside of Josh Allen, just because you never know what he is going to do. Josh Allen is going to either lower his shoulder or throw the ball for 80 yards. Patrick Mahomes can throw the ball for 80 yards, run out of bounds, cut back, slide, throw it across field 116 yards on a dime. So that to me is a hell of a lot more dangerous.
That's also what gets them in trouble, right? Wasn't it the interception in overtime that cost them their season last year?
No, that was D4 line off outsides.
Stop it. That's Patrick Mahomes trying to do too much, and that's when I think Patrick Mahomes gets into trouble. And that's what he's going to have to do, I think, this year, which is why I don't think that they're going to have the season everybody expects them to have. I think it's going to be Patrick Mahomes trying to do too much, and ultimately they're going to be in some tight games, and he's going to make the mistake at the end where you're just like, God, you're so good. Why do you keep doing this? You know what I mean?
Right.
It's going to be like Cubs fans watch their team for the last 6 years, like, damn, after we won the World Series, we're so good. Why are we this bad?
Right.
And that's what I really feel like that's what you're about to experience. Again, I could be totally wrong. But this is my feeling just by watching. This is what I've been watching over the last couple of years. And I mean, I don't know. I don't think that without the weapons, I think Patrick Mahomes is in trouble. I really do.
So let me bring up this comment, but just because Alpha Rob kind of makes a good point here. Patrick Mahomes, his first season, had Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill, Sammy Watkins, and Kareem Hunt, and they were already a playoff team. Well, let me ask you this, Combs. 2018, did you know who Travis Kelce was? Did you know who Tyreek Hill was? We knew who Sammy Watkins was because he was a bust in Buffalo.
We knew who Tyreek Hill was, though, too. I mean, Tyreek Hill was
like the 7th round pick out of JUCO college. How did you know who he was?
Because he ran like a 4.2 100-yard dash.
That doesn't matter.
He was stupid fast.
Who is the player that just ran a 4.1 at the combine? Exactly. See, exactly.
Well, yeah, that's a 4.140.
Exactly.
But I was joking when I said a 4.2 100-yard dash because that's stupid.
I knew what you meant, but there's a player right now, a wide receiver for the Jets, that recorded a faster 40 time than Tyreek Hill at the combine. Do you know his name?
No.
Exactly, because speed kills if used properly, and it was not used properly until Patrick Mahomes came into the league. Travis Kelce was a good tight end. He was not a Pro Bowl tight end until Patrick Mahomes took the helm. Sammy Watkins was decent. He was not great, but he was decent. Kareem Hunt was pretty damn good until he sucker punched that white chick. But hey,
I'm not disagreeing with you that Patrick Mahomes is a top, quarterback in this league. To me, that's not even a question.
Right.
And I mean, you ask about Tyreek. I mean, Tyreek was a 1,000-yard receiver before Patrick Mahomes became the starting quarterback. So
with
it's
Alex
not like
Smith,
he was a nobody.
The best quarterback in the league.
Right. So, but no, stop it. But he was already putting up numbers. We already knew who he was. They were already on a playoff. Yeah, dude, he had like, I think it was 75 catches for 1,200 yards or 1,300 yards.
I don't think he was a Pro Bowler though.
I'd have to research it to see if he was a Pro Bowler, but I mean that's Pro Bowl numbers.
It is. Yeah, it is.
You know what I mean? It's one of those things where he had a few more yards with Patrick, But I think you would have had those yards with whoever was the quarterback. I don't think it mattered. You could have put, I mean, had you put Mitch Trubisky into that situation, I think maybe he has a different career as well. If you put Patrick Mahomes on the Bears, maybe he has a different career, because there's no way that idiot freaking Matt Nagy could figure out how to use Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, so I mean, I guess we will see how good Tyreek Hill is coming up here in this season because he has teamed up with like Tua. But speaking of not very good quarterbacks, Combs, the Seattle Seahawks have named their Week 1 starter in Geno Smith. Fact or crap, they're making a mistake by naming Geno Smith the starter.
I mean, fact. I mean, I just. Like, I'm mind boggled. I'm mind boggled that they didn't go out and get Jimmy G. Maybe they still will. But I mean, look, I like Drew Lock. I liked him last year. I thought that I thought Denver lost that trade. And it's Geno Smith. I have a hard time saying, yes, I believe in Geno Smith. I mean, those it just doesn't make sense, right? When you put those words together in a sentence, it just doesn't sound right.
This is the same Geno Smith that has started 4 games in 4 years. So let's just put that out there.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, it's just one of those where you can't really put yourself in that situation where you're like, damn, Geno Smith is that guy.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I'm going to say it's a fact. You're making Geno Smith a starter is a huge mistake.
Yeah, I mean, like, I feel like Drew Lock is not better than Geno Smith right now from watching their preseason games and, like, watching camps and, like, all that stuff. But I feel like Drew Lock has more of an upside in the NFL because Geno Smith, I think he's entering, like, his 7th year because he spent 3 or 4 years with the Jets and, like, in the last 4 with the Seahawks being a backup. And Drew Lock is entering just his 3rd year. He has never really had a full season underneath his belt to really grow as a player, to grow as a quarterback, being the guy. And I think, like, if you were to name him the guy Week 1, hey, this is your team. Guys, the Seattle Seahawks are not really that bad on the offensive side of the ball. They have Tyler Lockett, probably a top 15 receiver in the league still from the Kansas State University. Right there, Combs, the Kansas State. DK Metcalf, arguably one of the top 5 receivers in the NFL, right? Mr. 25 mile an hour, I'm going to chase a guy down and because he stole my cheeseburger, right? I mean, this offense is not terrible, but if you put a quarterback like Drew Lock in there, give him a chance to grow, make that connection with Tyler, with DK, and then maybe pick up a running back like Sony Michel that just got cut, which we'll talk about him later. I mean, there's an opportunity for the Seahawks not to be as bad as people think. But I think with Geno Smith, it is almost as if you're tanking this season almost.
Yeah. And like, I mean, people will say, well, they gave, Drew Lock his chance this past weekend. He played the whole second half. He's against the 3rd and 4th string defense of the Dallas Cowboys. And he completed like 50% of his passes. And I think he threw 1 touchdown to 3 interceptions. So but there's a difference, right? Like when you're stressing and you're pressing and you're just trying to make things happen, you're more prone to make mistakes.
Right.
Whereas if you're allowed to be the guy, if you know your job is secure, you're a little bit more comfortable. You've got room to breathe. You start seeing things a little bit more clearly. And it makes a big difference. It really does. And so I don't believe that they gave Drew Lock his chance. If Geno Smith, I mean, good luck. I mean, tell me you're trying to get the number 1 draft pick without telling me you're trying to get the number 1 draft pick.
Exactly. So Alpha Rob says, mistake. We know what Geno is, which is trash. Lock is still up in the air. I feel that is pretty close to accurate there, Alpha Rob. And Alpha Rob also says Drew Lock almost beat Kansas City till Melvin Gordon fumbled the ball. Not wrong on that either. It's also a hard place to play in Denver, and Kansas City always loses in Denver. So,
Yeah, I was gonna say it's divisional games are so tough because it almost you feel like it doesn't matter who's on the field, you're going to split the season. Like tell me, I mean, how many teams, if you go through division by division, how many teams can you look at and be like, yeah, this team can sweep their division?
This year, probably
I can't say any.
Yeah, probably none. Maybe
you know what I mean.
I think
like,
the Vikings probably had the best shot, to be totally honest. Like and like that's like really, I don't know.
And even that, like, I mean, going into Chicago is a tough place to play. Going into Lambeau in December is a tough place to play. You know,
Ford Field's a tough place to
even
play.
Playing in Detroit is a tough place to play, and that team's going to play you tough.
Right.
So I don't know. It's one of those where when people are like, oh well, you almost beat this team. Well, I mean, it's a divisional game. I mean, it's tough. Things just happen in divisional games. I don't know what it is. There are teams that are just like, dude, their world's better. They should beat this team by 3 scores. What do you mean they lost by 15?
Shit happens when you're probably naked, right?
Yeah. It's not even close.
So Alpha Rob brings up a question here on this Factor Crap Monday here. He says, Bills, come on, Combs. So Combs, Factor Crap. The Buffalo Bills will sweep their division this year.
Crap. Miami is 100%. A ridiculous tough place to play. I mean, every opposing player will tell you the same thing. Miami is a really tough place to play, so you have a chance at losing that game. And look, New England is good. Can you sweep them? Sure. Can you sweep the Dolphins? Sure. Can you sweep the Jets? I mean, the Jets are like 0 for the last century, so yes, you could. But I wouldn't. I'm not putting money on it. I mean, if I'm going to put a money on any team to sweep a division, you know, it's probably going to be, you know, like the Rams or something. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. It's not going to be. It's got to be a team that has a couple of bad teams in their division. You know, it might be a team in the AFC South or in the NFC South. Like you'd have to have 2 really bad teams in your division and then have really good games against the other good team in your division. It's not gonna happen.
Yeah, and actually, I feel like the bad teams are probably harder to win in your division because you kind of sleep on them because you've already beaten them once. So it's probably the better, the better teams that you're more scared of or like more prone to sweep. Yeah, I think. But
if I'm picking anybody to sweep the division this year, it would be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yeah, and I would even put money on that because the Carolina Panthers are sneaky good too. But
yeah, so are the Saints.
Alpha Rob says Von Miller's not losing to Tua, and the Buffalo Bills have been sweeping the Dolphins since 2019, which you are absolutely right, Rob. You guys are going to sweep the Dolphins. You'll sweep the Patriots, but don't overlook the Jets. Playoff bound, baby! I'm totally kidding. But for real, the Jets are going to wait 8 wins this year. 2 of them coming from the Buffalo Bills. They're not going to sweep the division. Come on, Alpha Rob. The Bills are going to probably go 500 in the division. They'll lose to the Patriots one time, and they'll get swept by the Jets. That's all that is, baby. That is all it is. J-E-T, Jets. Combs, say it with me. J-E-T, Jets. Combs Jr. says, I'm done with Buck. Why?
Me too.
So you guys are telling me that come on, man, whatever. Moving on. NFL Top 100 Combs has officially come out with the number 1 player, and the number 1 player ranked by the players for the players is no longer than Mr. Tom Brady. So Combs, fact or crap? Tom Brady is the best player going into the 2022 NFL season. Not overall, going into the 2022 NFL season.
Yes. I've said it before. Look, until the day he dies, Tom Brady is the best quarterback in the game. Till he dies, Tom Brady is the best player in the NFL. Like, that's just... are you going to bet against him, Buck? Because I'm not betting against him. Because every time somebody bets against this guy, he comes out and he just destroys everybody. Like, so there is no way I'm going to be the guy that makes that call to say, hey, yes, this guy here, yeah, he's done. No, he is still the best. and I can't go against it. I love watching this guy. To me, he is a phenomenon. 45 years old and still voted on by his peers. I mean, this isn't just the fans voting or writers voting or people just loving him. These are the players who voted.
Right.
The players voted him the best player. So that's how much respect this guy gets. And I mean, look how much respect he commands. I mean, that's 7 Super Bowl victories in 10 appearances. He's got more victories than some teams have appearances in their history. Like, I mean, it's insane. He's got more losses in the Super Bowl than some teams have in their history too. Like,
Lions.
It's insane to me that anybody would think anything other about this man, because what has he done to show that he isn't that?
Right. So I see what you're saying, Combs, but you kind of made my point for me. He's 45 years old. He had to take a leave of absence to get some Botox. Did you see his new cheekbones are all like way up? He's got a nice skinny face now. He's lost a little bit of weight. But this is not an overall what you've done for me in the past. This is going into the 2022 NFL season. And yes, I do respect Tom Brady. He is probably a top 10 player in the NFL going into this season, but not number one. Do you know who number one is, Combs? No further than TJ Watt. Since 2019, this guy has 57 sacks. 57 sacks since 2019, Combs. Do you know who has second? Aaron Donald with 38.5. TJ Watt is hands down the best player in the NFL. Better than Aaron Donald, better than Patrick Mahomes, better than Tom Brady, better than Tyreek Hill. Anybody you name, better than Justin Tucker, the 63-yard field goal kicker like himself. TJ Watt is hands down the best player in the NFL right now, Combs. He deserves to be number one.
Look, man, I bet you TJ Watt's one of those guys that voted for Tom Brady. Like,
do you think people voted for Tom Brady just because, like, hey, maybe if we vote this guy and he like kind of can like roll it off into the sunset now, so he can stop beating us?
No. I think that I mean, you put TJ Watt up there, and I don't know, was TJ Watt even in the top 5?
I do not believe so. I think he was like number 18 or 19. I didn't look at the
I know
list.
Cooper Kupp was up there,
Yeah.
and I know Jonathan Taylor was up there.
Right.
I'm pretty sure Aaron Rodgers is still up there.
I didn't see Aaron Rodgers up there. I don't think
And
so.
to me, Aaron Donald is number 2. Because to me, Aaron Donald went out and proved it last year. That Super Bowl victory, that the way that he put that game to bed at the end of it as well. Like, to me, that is what the second best player in the NFL is going to do. But everybody is behind Tom Brady until Tom Brady retires. I've told you this over and over, Buck. Like, you've got to start listening to me sometimes, because like, until he dies, not until he retires, until he dies, he is the best quarterback in the NFL.
Do you think Tom Brady can be like that guy that comes like at 6? He's like, I feel like playing an NFL game today, and he comes out of retirement and leads a team to a Super Bowl.
Yeah, he only comes back for the Super Bowl. They'll make an exception just for Tom Brady,
right?
Because it will sell tickets, and they'll come back and win a Super Bowl for anybody. Like, I'm convinced if he was on the Jets this year, they would go to the Super Bowl and they would win.
Maybe they are a playoff caliber team. So Combs Jr. says, when watching football, Buck's fantasizing and staring at Brady's face. That is absolutely false. Look at that interview that like he just did. Seriously, like, he has like facelift and he looks like he's like damn near like half black. Like, Tom Brady definitely spent some time at the Bahamas, like getting some P&A. So yeah, I mean, like, Combs is looking up like just like right now. It's like, ooh, I got some manscaping to do for tonight for Tom Brady. And Combs, guess what? That's exactly who Man Hour is sponsored by. Manscaped, guys. Go over to manscaped.com. Use promo code Man Hour to save yourself 20% and free shipping. Keep your balls happy. Like Tom Brady's balls are happy.
Dude, these blades and everything that they sent to us in this package, the trimmer, I gotta tell you, man, I'm impressed with this thing. You know, I have my own trimmer. I have my own, my own little, what do they call it? The lawnmower. And it worked fine, but this thing is insane. The charging station that it has, the power that it has when you're grooming, it's, to me, I was impressed. I used it for the first time this weekend. Extremely impressed. Did not have to hover over the toilet. So it helps, and it's good for that. And so, this stuff is good. So take that 20%, man. I'm telling you guys, take that 20%. It is worth it. You spend, $100 package now is worth $80, or you pay $80, I should say. It's still worth $100, but you only pay $80. And that 20%, I mean, maybe you spend more than that. Maybe you spend $200 and you get yourself $40 off. Like, you can get the stuff that you need for your everyday grooming needs, and it's worth it. I promise you, I would not push this stuff if I did not think it was worth it. It is definitely worth it.
So Combs, I used the ball conditioner just the other day, and guys, being married, you know how your sexual life is, right? It's very few and far between. Let's just be flat out honest about it. But I got in there with my Manscaped combs and I conditioned the balls up, and I'll tell you what, it was night and day. She came into bed like, you smell good. I'm like, you're ready for some rock and roll, baby? 5 minutes later, Combs, I was dead asleep because it was that amazing. The ball conditioner worked that good, Combsy.
So what you're saying is it does great. Like she loves it, but it does nothing for your performance.
It says nothing about performance, just all about smelling good and looking good.
Yeah. Hey, it looks great for the 30 seconds you can take care of it.
It's 35 and a half. We actually timed it. Combs Jr. says all of a sudden Man Hour is rated R. Combsy Jr., you are exactly right. Man Hour is rated R, and that's exactly where we are going right now. Mr. Aaron Donald Combs decided to go WWF rated R and take a dude's helmet off and smack him across the face a couple times, and he took another helmet, said, "Come at me, bro." So Combs, fact or crap, Aaron Donald is the dirtiest player in the NFL.
Crap. It's crap. I mean, look, the guy got heated at practice. However, I do think that there should be some punishment warranted, but I'm being told that there will be no punishment, which I think that's the crap part. Same thing with, Aaron Rodgers admittedly taking drugs, and there's no punishment there, but Tom Brady lets a few pounds of air out of a ball and we're suspending him for 4 games. So I don't think that he's a dirty player by any means, any stretch of the imagination. Same way I don't think Myles Garrett is a dirty player. And ask, I always want to call him Crosby for some reason. But ask Mason Rudolph if he thinks that Myles Garrett is a dirty player. Because, look, heat of the moment, you grabbed what you had and what was in your hand and you swung it at the guy. For whatever reason, something made him mad. You angered him somehow, and it's a street fight at that point. I'm not going to criticize a guy or say he's a dirty player. He's not like Ndamukong Suh stepping on players after the huddle, stomping on their nuts. Like, he's not that guy. So, no, I don't think he's a dirty player. I think it was just heated.
All righty, Combsy. I heard what you said. You said stomp on the nuts isn't bad, but grabbing a weapon and swinging it at somebody is totally okay. So let's walk through Aaron Donald's past couple arrangements here. So for one, swinging of the helmet was in practice. So I am totally fine with them not issuing any fines or anything because it's practice. We're talking about practice, right?
It was practice with another team, though.
It was still practice, right? So let's look at things that he'd done in a game. Do you remember when the NFL started to put "Stop Hate" on the back of their helmets? The very next game, Aaron Donald decided to chokehold somebody. He grabbed him by the neck and said, "Come at me, bro," and he chokehold him for a good 20 seconds. Later, Aaron
You
Donald.
can't be racist or anything if you're black. So
Well, come on now. But now, the very I believe it was like the very next year, Aaron Donald chokehold somebody. Well, like with the same stop hate thing on the back of his helmet, choke and hold a guy. So this is what they call it in the court system. This is a trend, Combs. Every year, Aaron Donald is swinging a helmet, choking somebody out, choke holding them, headlocking them. He is doing something dirty. He is the dirtiest player in the NFL, hands down. Dominic Sue had a mental lapse of stomping on a guy. We get it, right? But he only did it one time. This is Aaron Donald's fourth time we have seen this. Myles Garrett did it one time. Yes, it was on national TV. I think it may have been a Monday night game, right? But when somebody racially slurs you over and over and over, what happens? White bitches get knocked out, Combs, right? Ask Kareem Hunt. So white bitches get knocked out. Mason Rudolph. Now, we are seeing a trend with Aaron Donald. He is a dirty player. Hands down, he needs to do something about it. And like Combs Jr. agrees with me, Donald needs some type of anger management. He needs something because this is a trend. And if he were to go to court with like all these trends, he would be put in the slammer, baby. No question about it.
look, I mean, the NFL needs to step up and do something. You know what I mean? Like you can't preach safety. You can't preach player safety and then let a guy, whether it's in practice or in a game, swing a helmet at somebody's head, right? Like, imagine if he made contact. Imagine, like, I don't know who he was swinging at.
He did make contact. Did you see that helmet?
But
it like crumpled
hit
on
another
itself.
guy's helmet. But imagine if he hits Joe Burrow, right? Gives Joe Burrow a concussion, or even worse, ends his career. You know what I mean? Like, you've got to cut the snake off at the head. You can't just allow him to.
Then.
Oh, no, I agree. But the NFL picks and chooses when it wants to put the hammer down. Like, they do it, and they usually do it when a guy's innocent, like Deshaun Watson. Like, so, like, I don't agree with the way the NFL handles things. I mean, they pick and choose who they want to punish, when they want to punish them, and what they want to do. If player safety is your thing, then you should have it in mind at all times. Doesn't matter if it's practice or in a game. Aaron Donald. It's just not dirty, though. Look, he's a hothead. Like Junior says, he needs anger management. Sure, yeah, all of the above. But he's not dirty. Like, he doesn't do these things, behind your back. He's not, like, to me, that's the dirty guy. The guy who's taking cheap shots. The guy who's going after you when you're not looking, or going for your knees on plays. That's dirty. Is he a hothead? Is he, does he need anger management? Yeah. But dirty is too much.
So, are you referring to the cut block as people going to their knees? Is that what you're referring to? That totally 100% legal block that everybody's blowing up about?
No, not the legal block. I'm talking about, like, the guy who, when you're not looking, goes late. Like maybe after the whistle or at a time where the ball's on the other side of the field and there's no reason to go at you. And you're just kind of standing there, like those types of guys. And there's a lot of those in the league.
There are. Jalen Ramsey comes to mind.
Yeah, 100%.
So Combs Jr. says this is still defined as dirty. I agree. Just because you play beyond the whistle and you're coming to my face, but you're ripping my face, like ripping my helmet off or choking me out or doing whatever, that's dirty, man. Like, I don't care what you do between the plays.
No, you look just like Deshaun Watson, right? You've got to show me proof. Innocent until proven guilty. What caused him to snap? What caused him to choke you out? What did you do? Like, he didn't just choke you out just because he looked at you.
Okay.
Like, he choked you out because you did something or said something to him. So let me see both sides of the story, and then I'll tell you whether or not this guy's a dirty player.
Okay, Mr. Jury.
Did somebody
second
give
person
him
always gets caught. You know that.
I know. Look, I'm a hockey referee. I know all about the second person getting caught. I know all about, but I also know that there's a reason why he did that. So what I started looking for is the reason why he did that. So while he's in the penalty box, I'm going to start looking at the guy that he did that to and see what he's doing beyond the play as well.
Like, that's what you've got to look for. Those are the things. That's how you control what is going on. So you gotta do an investigation. What caused him to snap? What caused him to take this guy's helmet off and start swinging? Did he get called a racial slur? Did you talk about his mom? Did you talk about his wife? Did you threaten to do something to his kid? Like, what caused him to get to this point?
He was probably getting his ass kicked because he is one of the best players in the NFL, and he was getting his ass kicked repetitively. But let's just be honest, it was kind of dumb for the Bengals and Rams to hold a joint practice after they just played in the Super Bowl. But let's not talk about that right now. That's a story for a different day. Let's say if this was any other player, let's say this was Joe Smo from down the street, right? I.e. the Bills punter that got charged with the gang rape, right? And he got cut. Let's say this was a Joe Smo and we saw this. Do you think the NFL would have took some type of action? Let's say, the Aaron Donald treatment here. He has chokehold a guy, choked him out, and then threw a helmet. Would have he been kicked out of the league by now?
Yeah, and that's another, example of the NFL deciding when and who to take action on, right? And again, I'm not saying this about Deshaun Watson because I'm on Deshaun Watson's side. I don't think Deshaun Watson should have been suspended at all. 2 grand juries tell you there wasn't enough evidence to even take it to a trial,
right,
let alone to convict a man. And I believe in innocent until proven guilty. But let's spin it to the other side, right? Because people always want to take it there. And I like pushing the buttons and I like hearing what stupid people have to say and want to cry about. Why is it that a black man who was convicted accused 27 times of sexual assault, keep his job, get commanded on trades and get so much in return for in a trade and then get such a high contract, but a white punter gets that one accusation and he's released? You know what I'm saying? So all of the other theories, if it was a shoe on the other foot, right, we'd be having this conversation right now, wouldn't we? But
100%. This would be racially motivated, yada yada yada, right?
And that's what I'm saying. How it's the shoe's on the other foot now. So that's what I'm saying. The NFL decides who and when to take action on, and so while I'm just using Deshaun Watson as an example, right? And this is just a look at the other side of the fence example. I am on Deshaun's side. I believe Deshaun Watson was set up from the beginning. I think that there's a whole lot of stupidness that went on there.
Yep.
And I don't believe he did anything wrong. I believe him when he says he's innocent. And I don't think he deserved any punishment. But again, shoe on the other foot. You got to look at things from both sides of the fence. You can't just look at it one way, and then when it's blatantly there the other way, say, he deserved it. Because this guy has nothing. He's denied all accusations.
Well, hang on. Are we talking about the punter?
Yeah.
So there has been screenshots of text messages being released that the punter, I don't know his name, Phil or Reza.
Yeah.
There are screenshots of him texting the person that got gang raped saying, hey, can we just settle this outside of court? How much is it going to cost? So
that,
yeah.
But again, Deshaun Watson settled outside too. And I believe that sometimes there are some situations that are easier to settle because it's going to cost you less in the long run,
right,
than it is to go through the trial and all the other stuff, right?
So
I don't think that's an admission of guilt, but if he's guilty, he's a scumbag. You know what I mean? Same thing with Deshaun Watson. If he's guilty, he's a scumbag. But I need to see proof. I'm not just going to me the court of public opinion isn't the tell-all sign of what you are and who you are. To me, you got to show me proof because innocent until proven guilty.
Yeah. So let's kind of talk about that punter thing, just because we like to toe the line here, because we are live, raw, and uncut, and we don't really care what people think because we are our own entity here. So
Try to
Combs,
cancel us.
what's that? Cancel
I
us?
said try to cancel us.
Right. I mean, you can't. But with all that being said, we have seen it time and time again, especially in the college ranks, right? When somebody finally makes it big, like all of a sudden, oh, this person raped me because I'm ashamed of it, right? So this happened over 2 years ago when the kid was in college. They had a gangbang, and then now all of a sudden she's like, oh, I had a gangbang with this guy, and he is in the NFL. Let me get some money, yada, yada, yada. And the lawyer has come out and said flat out he is pissed that the Bills cut him because now they can't get as much money. Like, clearly it's a money grab. This is stupid.
Yeah. And look, I don't, again, I need to see more of it, right? Like we got a whole 2 years worth of Deshaun Watson stuff to make up our mind, right? To me, common sense just steered too much towards the Deshaun Watson side. Yeah. I need to see a little bit more from this case before I make up my mind, but it does look bad when you make these accusations. Look, people do all sorts of things when they're young. Like, I mean, there's all sorts of different things that people do. Look, I'm a Marine. I can tell you some stories about it. We talk when we're off the show. I can tell you some stories. People do all sorts of stupid stuff when they're young. And, so would it surprise me if this was a consensual thing? No, it wouldn't surprise me if this was a consensual thing. I'm not going to outlaw this guy. So I'm just going to let it take its course. And do I think that he should have been released? No. I think that, he should have gotten his day in court, so to speak, and should still be allowed to go along with his job. I don't think an accusation should cost you your job, because if that's the case, I'm just going to go start accusing everybody that's ahead of me and make my way to the top.
Say that online.
You know what I mean? Like,
right. Yeah.
Like it's a money grab. Look, I mean, look, I'm watching Serena Williams. Look, Serena saw me in a bar one time. She touched me inappropriately. Yeah. I need some money. Serena, hit me up.
Yeah, there you go.
Like, it is all.
I mean,
if that's all it takes to get some money, man. Like,
yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. Like, it's too easy, and that's a sad reality. And this is the world that we live in nowadays.
Yeah. This
is the world that we are in when you can just accuse somebody, and now all of a sudden, because of social media, they're gonna grab hold of it, and they're gonna take it to here and to there, and you got to look at it this way, and you got to believe this, and you got to believe that, instead of just making up your mind and looking at the facts. It's too easy nowadays to get a money grab, and social media has done a lot of that. Social media is out of control.
Yeah, and I think Alpha Rob kind of nailed on the head here. He said the media jumped on the punter story, and they really didn't want to mention the Watts story until they were forced to. So, I mean,
yeah, and that's look, they jumped on the Watson thing, or jumped on the Ariza thing, and the only time they jumped on the Watson thing was when they knew it would sell, which was when the punishment came down, and they knew people didn't like the fact that they thought it was too light.
Yeah.
So they used that and they jumped on it, and then all of a sudden it became a 12-game suspension, right?
It was 11.
Yeah. And I hope, dude, I can't wait for week 13. I want to see Watson go up and put up 90 points on the Houston Texans. Like, I really hope that happens, because like the way that they did him in Houston was just so dirty. And he just, look, this was a kid who was like, look, this organization is going nowhere. It's being run by morons. I want out.
Right.
And they didn't let him out. And they were like, no, screw you. Watch this. All them hookers that we signed you up for, now they're massage therapists. Yeah. We got to buy their license. We'll buy their license.
Exactly. So let me ask you this question, Combs, since we're kind of down this rabbit hole anyways. Let's say this whole gangbang accusation was actually a gangbang and not a gang rape, right? Which seems to me really, really far-fetched. What if it comes out that this was not true? Should this girl kind of be ran across the media, thrown in jail, and maybe sued for just because like this punter lost at least $700,000 signing bonus that he was going to get from the Buffalo Bills from making the team. Should she be some type of suing or jail time or something? Like, what do you think?
That's the thing. Like they're supposed to be. Like, they're supposed to be filing a false report. They're supposed to be all this. But look, if it's just a civil suit, there's no repercussions for this. And this kid just lost a year off of his career that he can't get back.
He lost his whole career. Let's just be honest.
Yeah, I mean, look, he's a punter. I mean, they're a dime a dozen, right? Like, I mean, it's sad. If that's the case, if this is a false accusation, then I believe that her punishment should be equal to what his punishment would have been if he was found guilty. That's how I believe you take care of this. If at any point you accuse somebody of something like this and it's proved to be false, then your punishment becomes what their punishment would have been.
Yeah.
And then women will start thinking twice about false accusations. I don't want to discourage anybody from making accurate accusations. So either, don't get me wrong, like men who are predators, men who are on women like that, and men that do those things, they're the lowest piece of scum on earth. But I'm not going to sit out there and pretend like every woman is coming out here and that every woman is telling you the truth and not going after a money grab, because it's happened too many times.
Yeah. It's sad but true in the end, guys. But that is going to be it for tonight here on the Man Hour. If you guys have missed any part of the show whatsoever, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, or you can check out the podcast as well on iTunes, iHeart, of course, Spotify. If you guys are interested in downloading the podcast form, do it anyways. Just give us a 5-star ranking. That'd be fantastic. But Combsy, any closing thoughts before we totally end the show, man?
Man Hour Nation, rise up.